I was doing crypto. I was like using a VPN to trade with Bybit and all these platforms, 100x leverage. Actually starting to get a couple of payouts from my Forex funds, right? I got my accounts just totally disabled when they went down. So I got rug pulled. I saw exponential growth as soon as I moved over to futures. I trade a mix of ICT related concepts in conjunction with volume profile. I think I'm at like 34,000 in the last 2 months with Tradeify. I really believe it is because I recently switched over to like a negative risk reward model. Try and treat prop firms for their actual intended purpose. Yeah, I'm not huge on journaling these days, if I'm being honest.
Oh, really?
I don't believe the market is controlled by a singular algorithm or anything like that. But one thing that really helped me, because I was one of those guys too, when I first got into ICT, just always looking for reversals, narrowing the time horizon down.
Has that bothered you though, the fear of missing out?
Dude, it happened to me today. Happened to me this morning.
Well, hey, Zach, I appreciate you joining us here today, man. It's really exciting to get to know you a little bit, learn about your trading background, and get a sense of what you've learned along the way. Maybe just to kick this off, can you give us a sense of how you got into futures in the first place and what drew you down the prop firm route?
Yeah, sure thing, man. And yeah, likewise, thanks again for inviting me on. I've listened to quite a few of the podcasts, so I like your interview style, like what you guys are doing. So yeah, it was great to be able to come on. But yeah, so my name is Zach. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, guys, my name is Zach. I am from Brooklyn, New York, and I've been trading, I think it's about 5 years now, going on 5 years. Started in the prop firm route kind of like a year and a half in. So I got started with crypto. Obviously, it's a pretty similar story. A lot of people got started into trading like
right around that point in 2020 as well. Yeah.
2021. Yeah, man, of course. So I was doing crypto. I was like using a VPN to trade with Bybit and all these platforms, 100x leverage. You know the deal. I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that story.
Yep.
Lost a bunch of money. Had a bunch of time because I was working a construction job, and first few months there was no work. That's kind of what drew me into it. I just started playing around. I was bored on the computer and I got hooked. I just got totally hooked on trading. Fast forward about a year and a half in, I discovered the Forex prop firm world. So, like my Forex funds, FTMO. And yeah, I just got started with that, and it just progressively went until I found futures. I'd like to say I was actually one of the guys who found futures a little bit earlier than most because I was like actually starting to get a couple of payouts from my Forex funds, right?
Okay.
And, I got my accounts just totally disabled when they went down. So I got rug pulled. And I had accounts, I had payouts I was waiting on, and it felt so shitty to just have that happen that I was like, I just want to try a totally different medium. And I went to futures for that reason. And this was before, all of the other FX firms started having some troubles. So yeah, I got started with Topstep, and something about futures, man, I'm sure we can get into it, but I saw exponential growth in my outcome as soon as I moved over to futures, which I thought was very interesting. And yeah, since then I've stuck with it, and it's been futures prop firms all the way.
That's amazing. Can you maybe unpack what led to that exponential growth? Like, what was the big aha moment? Was there a hurdle you had to get past?
So like I was saying, I did get some payouts in the FX space. I was trading Forex, like Euro USD, GBP USD, things like that. Didn't really play around with indices too much. I would trade like the SPX every now and again, but I was mostly a Forex guy. When I went to futures, I just kind of naturally discovered the NQ, the ES. And I think a big factor is honestly the minimal spread and slippage that you get with futures. I think that was had a huge impact on my overall P&L, especially when you zoom out over the span of 100 trades or 1,000 trades. A lot of times those commission, spread, and slippage, swap fees, if you're swing trading, those things could be what makes or breaks you
for sure,
profitable or not. So I think that was a major thing for me. I just could not believe the seamless execution with futures. And yeah, I was just hooked from there on. But I think that was a major component.
Yeah, they're so obviously they're extremely liquid, but is that to say then that you were experiencing more slippage on the Forex side because you were trading market orders, or were limit orders even helpful for you?
At that time, I was not even using limit orders. I was a
I see.
market guy, MT5, just hit buy. I wouldn't even have
Yeah, yeah.
like take profits at that time, man. I was just like market sell,
Wild
market.
West, just shooting.
Yeah, man, it's been a process. So maybe limit orders would have helped, but yeah. Now, funnily enough, I use limit orders for like all of my trade entries.
So what is your trading style then? Can we talk about like what your setups usually are, how you set up your execution? Do you have take profit and stop loss now? What does that look like?
Yeah, man. So I'm a scalper. I mostly scalp the NQ
Okay.
primarily. And I trade a mix of ICT related concepts in conjunction with volume profile. So I think that's kind of what sets me apart a little bit from like the average ICT trader. I incorporate volume profile in there.
Sure. So you're mainly looking for POC then?
Yeah, so I use specifically the previous day's value area high, low, and point of control.
Okay.
That's my bread and butter. I don't really look at like higher time frame volume profiles. I don't even look at the current day's profile as it's developing. I specifically only look at the previous day's volume profiles because I just think it helps give a lot of context. And I look at where the market is right now in relation to the previous day's value areas.
Previous session. Yeah.
Previous session. And there's a lot of like simple rules that you can follow that I teach people too. Like simple thing, I call it my golden rule. If we're trading above the previous day's point of control, 8 out of 10 times you're going to have an easier time with a long bias. Doesn't mean you can't take shorts. Again, there's a million different ways, but 8 out of 10 times you'll probably be on the right side of the market sticking to that one simple rule. But so that's how I trade. And I am a scalper though now, which is quite different than how I used to trade. I used to be like a high risk reward, low win rate kind of guy looking for the daily expansion. Now I've totally flipped that on its head. I'm like a scalper. I take 2 to 4 trades a day and I'm looking for anywhere from like 5 to 15 points max on NQ.
Sure. Yeah.
Get in, get out. And yeah, that's it. And I use
I saw
negative risk reward.
Yeah, I was going to say, let's talk about that a little bit. So I have a similar approach with scalping on NQ. It's usually 15 points of take with 20 points of stop. So can you tell us what your ratio is that makes sense for you?
Yeah, no, that's a great ratio. I'm actually a little bit more aggressive. I'm usually risking like 3 to make 1, sometimes 4 to make 1.
Got it.
So on average, I'll have like a 20-point stop loss, and I'll be looking, depending on the setup, anywhere from 5 is like my minimum to like 15. If it's a really good setup, I'll go for the 15 points. You know what I mean?
And so you're just looking for those high confidence entries, right?
Yeah, so high confidence entries and also minimizing my executions. So just waiting for those high confidence entries and targeting the low hanging fruits. Like ideally, I have a setup that I'm actually anticipating might run 50 points. And I'm like, if I can just capture 10 points out of this possible 50, like I'm good. You know what I mean? And, I think trading the way I used to trade helped me a lot with that because I got honestly pretty proficient at like trying to figure out what the daily expansion was going to be because with high risk reward, I had to be able to capture a 100-point move. And I got pretty good at it. And now I just I feel like I'm exploiting it a little bit. It's like, if I can get 50 points here, let me just take 10.
I feel like that works really well in this regime right now because we're in a weird low volatility, sometimes high volatility, but low momentum environment where you want 500 points to show up on the chart, but it's not going to happen. There's no follow through. So that 15-point target actually makes a ton of sense to me. And I think that it's kind of a scalper's paradise right now. Would you say?
It's been good. It's been good. And these summer months historically have been awful for me.
Really?
With the other model before I was scalping, I was looking for those big moves and they just would not come. Like historically, July and August were awful. And now fast forward this year, since I moved over to scalping, July and August have been my best months out of the year.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
So can you help us understand how the payouts have been going? Are you all with Topstep and how well have you done this year with your Topstep accounts?
So Topstep, I've actually traded and taken less payouts than the other accounts. So most of my payouts this year have come from Tradeify, just a couple of 150K straight to funded accounts. I think I'm at like 34,000 in the last 2 months with Tradeify.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And then Topstep as well. Those are my 2 favorite firms. And I think they're really good for different things, right? So Tradeify, I got the 34K in payouts. And I think at Topstep in the last 2 months as well, I'm at like 10. Maybe just shy of 10K. So it's been a great 2 months. I don't sugarcoat like the type of trader I am. That's a good month for me. You know what I mean? I've been trading 5 years. I became profitable in year 3 when I started seeing payouts. Last year was like my first really good year, but I could not really break through a ceiling of like a 10K plus month. I just psychologically, I couldn't do it. I was able to make multiple 10K months, just couldn't break through that ceiling. And yeah, these last 2 months, it's finally happened, and the growth was exponential, which was awesome. I think it really just shows how psychological it is.
Absolutely. Well, maybe we can talk about the psychology there. Are there big things you've taken away from your own self-discovery and your own self-awareness that are really critical to your trading?
Honestly, I think first off, just physically breaking through the ceiling just opened it up for me, like wide open. But I really have to attribute the technicals to why I was able to have such a good couple of months, because I really believe it is because I've recently switched over to like a negative risk reward model. It's so funny because this year I just progressively have been lowering my R multiple like every couple of months. Like beginning of the year, I was still looking for like those 3, 4, 5 Rs. And I feel like every month or two, I've just been going, I'm going with 2R now. It's going with 1R. And now I'm like negative risk reward guy. I just think it's a lot better for prop firms. You know, I don't know.
Sure.
I don't know if like you're trading a personal account. I would say going with a negative risk reward scalping approach is always the best idea. I think the thing about prop firms is they really reward that kind of more stable upside equity curve.
That's right.
Where you could just lock in base hit, get through that trailing drawdown. That's like really the hardest part, especially with these futures firms. You got to get through that trailing drawdown. And the thing is, if you're using a high risk reward system, low win rate, if the market is just not in line with your hypothesis for a couple of days, like you're cooked.
Yeah, you're just going to burn through that drawdown.
Yeah, exactly.
So what happens if you trigger your loss on the other side of that large risk to reward ratio?
You got to just
done for the day.
You got to just deal with it, have a daily loss limit, and just stop, man.
Are you hitting it shy of your daily loss, or is that your daily loss for the day?
My daily loss, depending on the accounts, like it's gone up as my account balances have grown. Like my Tradeify accounts right now are sitting at around like $10,000 of drawdown, even with the payouts I've taken. So that's
awesome. Well done on the buffer.
Yeah, thank you. I really think that's the key, is the buffer, because it's funny. I'm actually more aggressive when I first get my accounts, because the goal is to get through that trailing drawdown. I already know what my risk is, right? If I bought those accounts, that's my risk. So I'm actually more aggressive getting through that trailing drawdown. And then right now I have a $10,000 buffer. I actually cut my size in half. Because now it's
you take less risk. You're trying to hit consistent profit.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's almost like you're just like tipping the scale in your favor. It's all system, right? You're exploiting the system.
So is that to say that you are only trading one NQ at a time with that 15-point take, or what does your sizing usually look like?
2 NQ right now.
Okay, gotcha.
2 NQ, but when I was building the buffer, I was trading anywhere from 3 to 5, depending.
Oh, really? Interesting. Yeah. That's pretty aggressive. I like it.
Yeah.
So what kind of since you're trading multiple firms, have you run into any kind of like trade copying issues, or what does your trade copying process look like?
Yeah, so for me, I'm not one of those guys that's copying every single prop firm account between multiple firms all on one trade. Not that I have an issue with that. And honestly, I would like to maybe look into getting that going as I continue to grow in my career. But what I've been doing currently is I just copy trade between firms. So Tradeify, right now I'm only trading two different prop firms, Tradeify and Topstep. So I will copy my Tradeify accounts, and I just use the Tradeify group copier. Yeah. Which, to be fair, is not the best. I mean, I can't even use bracket orders executing from there with the copier.
Which is important for your strategy, obviously. Yeah,
it really is, because there have been times that like I enter, it already hit my 25, 30 tick TP before I even was able to set it. So it's funny. I have to set my TP before my stop loss with my strategy, because
because the execution could be almost immediate, right?
Exactly. It has to go TP first, then stop loss, which is counterintuitive. But so that's kind of one of my main issues, is I would like to have bracket orders on Tradeify. If they could just do that, I'd be a happy guy. And then Project X is pretty cut and dry. They have bracket orders. Their copy trading system is good. Personally, though, I don't really love the Project X platform. I do prefer Tradeify. I think the fills and and the spread is a little different on Project X. I've noticed in my trading. So I think Tradeify's a little tighter execution, but they're both good platforms.
Sure. Fantastic. So what's something you think retail traders that are interested in prop firm trading will consistently get wrong about this approach? Like what should they really learn before they head down the path of even trading one prop firm account?
I think it depends where they're at in their journey. I mean, the reality is most people trading prop firms are like, there's a whole generation of traders that have never opened a personal account in their life.
Right.
You know,
Whole lot of that.
Luckily, I did have a personal account when I was trading the crypto days, and now I have a personal account. But I mean, I really did cut my teeth on prop firms. I learned in this industry. I'm part of that generation. And I did a lot of things wrong, man. You know, I think the biggest thing that people just get messed up when they're first learning is they think that a prop firm account is a career. You know, they think like if I have a 100K account, like my life can change with this. And it's just the furthest thing from the truth.
Right.
I really believed that when I first started with this. I thought once I get funded, like I'm good. And you're in for a rude awakening when you realize that. Sometimes I think you just have to go through it because that's trading. You just have to go through those hardships. But I would say like you have to just stick to one account and try and treat prop firms for their actual intended purpose. Like in their FAQs, they talk about how trading on a prop firm is a great way to learn how to trade in a simulated environment where your risk is capped. That's what they say in their FAQs.
Yeah.
People should take that literally, especially if they're new. Like, just stick to that one account. Like, you don't need to be, I need to pass this account next week. It's like, why, bro? You've never gotten a payout.
Plenty of time.
You got plenty of time, but it's so much easier said than done. Like,
of course,
people told me that. I didn't take the advice, but now I'm in this position. I'll say that is the right advice.
Do you feel like people have to fail their way to success, though? We all have to make the same psychological and execution and trading mistakes every single time, however common they are. We all have to make them to learn it for ourselves.
I really think so. I just think, at least I'm that type of guy. Like I've never learned in anything in my life without burning my hand on the stove. It's who I am. I think a lot of traders have that personality too. We're a little bit weird.
We're a little quirky, aren't we?
We're a little quirky, man. So I think that is the way, honestly.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I've had to learn it all the hard way as well, despite even having a little bit of an academic background in it, learning it the institutional way. And I still had to make all the wrong mistakes, all the bad mistakes. So that's fascinating.
Ask yourself this. Are you making trading harder than it needs to be? If you're trading manually or still coding just to connect to your broker, it's time to upgrade. Traders Post lets you automate trades using signals from tools like TradingView or TrendSpider or even your own custom setup. It works with brokers like TradeStation, Tradeivate, Coinbase, and a bunch more. I've been using it myself, and getting started was smooth. The platform's clean, setup's quick, and once it's running, it just works. And when you're ready to scale, adding more strategies, plugging into prop firm accounts, or juggling multiple portfolios, Traders Post handles it. It's built to grow with you. Start your free trial at traderspost.io. Trade smarter, automate your edge.
So tell me about what's next. What's the next big goal now that you've kind of found a stride of success? You've got these futures prop firm accounts going. I know you're doing some live streaming with ASFX TV. Seems like you're growing your social media following. What's the next big goal?
Yeah, man. For me, it's mostly trading. Like I love being on social media just because as a trader, I think a lot of us can be very lonely if we're doing this alone. Like,
for sure. Yeah.
I started social media.
It's why I do these interviews. I like meeting you guys. Yeah.
Dude, no, seriously, like doing a podcast, when I get asked to do a podcast, it doesn't feel like work. I'm like, oh, hell yeah, let's go. Like, let's talk trading for an hour. You can't talk about this with your friends at work or.
No, they look at you like you're crazy.
Dude, I remember when I first got into it too, bro. I thought everyone was going to be so excited for me.
Yeah.
You want to talk
That's
to
awesome. You're owning your own path, your own success.
They just look at you like you got 5 heads. So I learned that a long time ago. I do not talk about trading to people in my personal life, but
for sure.
But yeah, so sorry, what was the question actually?
Sorry, what's the next big goal?
Next big goal. Honestly, man, like social media is cool. That's where I was going with it. But really like the secondary thing. I just do it because I like to have community. For me, it's all about trading. I want to grow my accounts. So, I took that 34K in payouts on Tradeify with just 2 accounts. So my goal is up the accounts. I'm trading 550K straight to funded right now, doing the same exact thing, same model, just upping the account size. And also working on max funding with Topstep. I got a few XFAs. The XFAs I've been a little more aggressive with, like the ones that I've taken 10K in payouts from the last couple months. I blew them. Now I got another set. But I'd like to get max funded with them as well. And the main goal is just get more in tune with copy trading more accounts, because I think in the prop firm space, that's really the only way you're going to actually scale up and start making those bigger numbers, you know?
Yeah, right. Absolutely.
But yeah, that and streaming. I love streaming. So just
same
with that.
Yeah, we do a show every morning, and it's I think for me personally, it holds me more accountable to my rules, because if you're trading in public, you're accountable to everybody who's commenting as well. Like, why are you in this trade when you just said you weren't going to take it unless it closed above VWAP or whatever, right? So
Bro, it made me a much better trader.
Yeah,
a much better trader, because you're just in the spotlight. You can't be doing anything stupid.
Exactly. I recommend everybody do it, even if you only have one viewer on the other side. There's something about it that seriously helps. Not to mention that I don't have to do much trade journaling anymore either, because I have a stream of every single session that I do. And so I can go back and review the tapes and see why I made the choice that I made. I'm usually calling audibles on all of my approaches. So it's helpful because it gives you a lot more detail than I did not trade well today in my trade journal, you know?
Dude, absolutely. Yeah, I'm not huge on journaling these days, if I'm being honest.
Oh, really?
I spend years doing it. So like I put in my work with journaling. I would sit there and journal for 30 minutes every trading day. At this point, man, I feel like I'm just over analyzing my emotions and like overthinking things. I think it forces, because I used to be very self-critical, and I think a lot of traders, when they're first journaling, I think this is helpful for them, but they're self-critical. They overanalyze their thoughts, their emotions. And I just think there was a certain point that I hit with it that I'm like, dude, this is like, I'm just making it more complicated for myself right now. So I don't journal really, but I do stream, and I just hold myself accountable, man. Like if I blow some accounts, I got to talk about it on X. I got to, you know, on ASFX TV, they know where my accounts are. I'm not one of those guys that hides the account balance. Very honest about where I'm at. So like if they see I got a new set of accounts, they're like, yo, what happened, bro? No, I blew my accounts.
Here's why I lost them. Yeah.
I'll go on a 20-minute rant on why it happens.
And it happens. There's no way, like in many cases, there's literally no way to avoid it. You know, you mentioned earlier about thinking about this being like a career with $100,000 account size, but the reality is it's not $100,000. It's $2,000 that they're giving you of drawdown. You're dealing with a small amount of risk, really. Yeah. So it's very easy to blow is the point.
That's the way I like to look at it. That's kind of what I like about Topstep with their XFAs.
Yeah.
You start at a $0 balance.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. They're taking the whole account size out of the equation.
Like, exactly. You got a $4,500 drawdown, $0 account balance.
Yeah. I think the futures desk does the same thing. You start with a $0 balance. And I think that makes a ton of sense. Now you're thinking in terms of your drawdown, your risk. So you said you went through the whole journaling phase. Maybe we can talk about that a little bit more. What are like 3 main things you took away from your journaling, aside from slowly moving towards a negative RR? Were there other factors? I know earlier you mentioned you have a rule of maybe only doing 3 or 4 trades per day. Did that come out of the journaling process as well?
Yeah. So I think the most helpful thing for me with journaling was markups. So like I'm a big technical trader. I love technical analysis. Yeah. And I think that's where my real edge is. So I learned so much in screenshotting my chart, you know, posting markups. Okay, this fair value gap was inversed here at this time. Why is that? Think about it. And just like pattern recognition, just over and over and over again. Like my phone, dude, is just filled with screenshots of charts. You know what I mean? And I think that alone was the most helpful part of journaling for me, even more than the psychology side. I think a lot of people like overemphasize psychology. I know it's important. Don't get me wrong. It's very important, but there are a lot of people out there that are simply trading an unprofitable strategy. They really are.
Or just throwing trades at anything.
Yeah. They don't have a strategy at all. Right. And then they think about psychology all day. And it's like, if you don't have a model that's actually going to work, it doesn't matter how good your psychology is. So for me, journaling, the best part about it was just the markups. I would always say, like, if you're journaling, you need to just have markups in. Austin was great with that.
Yeah.
Who I stream with, because he got me into journaling, and he was like, just put 10 markups in there a day. every single day. When I was first learning with him, that's all I did. Every day, 10 markups.
Can you tell us what a markup is?
A markup is essentially a screenshot of a chart of a trade that you took. So I'll have my risk reward tool out there. I know where the trade entry was, and I just have all of my all the levels that I was using. I have like little chat blurbs on what I was thinking or context for the situation. And it's just pattern recognition, just looking at those charts and remembering and reanalyzing.
Right. So you mentioned earlier about having a profitable model. How do you model your approach? Are you using a tool for that, or is it really just those screenshots that have helped you develop your approach?
Yeah, I'm not like a big data guy. I mean,
Sure.
Back in the day, I did back testing where I would, I would write things down and I would test stuff out. But it's just, I'm a trader and I discretionarily enter and exit my positions.
Yeah. You recognize the pattern because you memorize them. You did enough of these markups to remember what the pattern looks like, right?
Yeah, pretty much, man. Like I'm not systematic. While I have specific criteria that I want to look for and things that I recognize, for me, I just feel like the market is so fluid and dynamic that, it's going to be nuanced. Every single trade
100%,
is exactly the same.
It's never going to repeat, but it'll rhyme, right?
It won't repeat, but it'll rhyme. So I really think that's a big part of my edge, is being able to like use that discretion to my advantage with the concepts that I use.
Yeah. So I want to circle back to that. What are some of the ICT concepts that you use? You said you use some of them, but maybe not all of the concepts. I know there's quite a few of them, but unpack what you've learned from ICT.
Totally, man. So for me, I feel like I use the foundational principles. So I don't believe the market is controlled by a singular algorithm or anything like that. But the foundational principles, which I would call liquidity, which in ICT land, we call liquidity in the form of old highs and lows, swing lows and
resistance.
Somewhat. So, for example, like previous day's high could be a liquidity level. If it's a swing high right there, and I see previous day high get swept, and then we start to get a reversal, that could be a point that liquidity was taken. Also, liquidity in the form of like session highs and lows, Asia high, Asia low, London session high, London low, and then fair value gaps. So fair value gaps, which is essentially an imbalance in the market. We pretty much subscribe to the idea that the market is always looking to achieve balance. So when you leave those wide open spaces, which is what a fair value gap is, the market often is likely to the fair value gap acts as a magnet back towards it for price. So, and it also can hold as support and resistance. So I use liquidity, fair value gaps, and honestly just session highs and lows. Like that's really all I use with ICT. I use the inversion fair value gap entry model.
Sure.
That's looking for a fair value gap. And if you're looking for a long, you're looking for a bearish fair value gap to get disrespected. That's your entry signal, but you need your other criteria. But that's really the part of ICT that I use. I keep it really simple. Like a lot of people use breaker blocks and order blocks and macro time windows and
PD arrays.
Well, PD arrays is like a fancy word for support and resistance.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not an ICT guy for what it's worth. I've read a little bit up on it, but you know more than I do.
You've probably interviewed a few ICT guys though, right?
Tyler G is one of the guys that we interviewed. Is heavily into the same inversion fair value gap as well. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of my favorite traders, that's just what they use. Guys like Lanto, Brian Stonk, Desi, Tyler G. What I like about the inversion fair value gap entry model is that it gives you a confirmation. Like the entry model is your confirmation. You're essentially waiting for a bearish. If you're looking for a long, you're waiting for that bearish level to get disrespected instead of anticipating it's going to get disrespected. So I think that's why it's a really powerful entry model. You're being given that confirmation.
Right. No, that's fair. If I were, and I know there's nuance to this, if I were to generalize it though, into two different categories, either being trend following or mean reversion reversals, it sounds like this is more of a reversal strategy.
So I was actually talking with Austin about this. I did a podcast with him, and you are right to feel that way, 100%. And a lot of ICT traders, they do subscribe to that, whether they know it or not.
Sure.
But I would actually challenge that it doesn't have to be mean reversion, but one of ICT's most popular mentorship videos is the 2022 mentorship. And that one, like really the way he teaches, I actually haven't learned anything from ICT personally. I've watched his videos.
Okay.
I've learned from his educators, but the way he teaches that model in that mentorship, he really kind of defines it as like a reversal trading strategy, or at least, again, he can be so nuanced and really vague sometimes that like he'll say, he would probably scoff at me saying that, but that is kind of the way he did it. I think where people go wrong is that they're always looking for that reversal on the 15-minute. The 15-minute time frame, the 1 hour, they're looking for like a higher time frame reversal, looking for a bigger move. So one thing that really helped me, because I was one of those guys too when I first got into ICT, just always looking for reversals, basically narrowing the time horizon down. So if we're in a 15-minute uptrend, right, or a really bullish uptrend, you don't have to be waiting for that 15-minute reversal all day. Instead, what you do, you go down to those lower time frames, the 5-minute, the 1 minute, because at least with the way ICT teaches, price action is all fractal. So like if I showed you a 1 minute time frame chart or a 15-second chart, didn't tell you what time frame it is, you wouldn't know if it's a daily, a weekly, a 4-hour chart. It's all the same.
Right.
So we essentially can play a reversal setup, but in the context of it's like a 1 minute reversal in line with a 15-minute trend. And the really simple way of explaining this is it's a bull flag in that case. But ICT can just, you can define things a little more and get a little more precision. At least that's my experience.
Fair enough. Yeah. And I do the same. I like to take my signals from the 15-minute and 2-hour chart. Those are the major support and resistance areas, but I trade the 1 minute chart and I'm looking for a trend on that chart. If that trend doesn't form, I can't really do very well. I try reversals, but when it comes to reversals, I do try to find them on the 5-minute or 15-minute horizon rather than the shorter time frame. I think what you're saying is this is a very short-term pullback in an overall trend that's continuing in one direction, right? And that's your sweet spot?
That really is my sweet spot. So following whatever especially with the scalping model, so like just following whatever the short-term order flow is doing.
Got it.
Via the 15 and 5, and then getting in on that 1 minute and trying to get in on a pullback. And this is where limit order entries really help me out a lot too. I like getting in as the market. I like for the market to come to me instead of waiting for it to go and then trying to follow that momentum, because so many times, man, it's like I'm waiting too long. I wait for that momentum and then the momentum just totally falls off a cliff as soon as I enter. So instead, just getting in on that pullback, get tagged in. And especially when I'm looking for 5 to 15 points, it's like it could be in that ebb and that flow state. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And once that pullback is confirmed and it starts to head in your direction, you're not looking for much profit at that point. So really, while a lot of people are looking at that trade as like, that's the start of my trend for an inversion, you've already gotten out at that point. You've already taken your profit off the table. Is that pretty typical for your trade?
Absolutely. So my best trades are when my TP is very far away from having to make it like a new high a day or a new low a day.
Right. Exactly.
So it's like I'm anticipating it's going to make a new low a day or a new high a day, but I'm in and out way before it actually happens. Those are my best trades. The ones that I get in a little bit later and my TP needs to be at like a new high a day, those are the ones that they get dicey sometimes and you get that deeper pullback.
Has that bothered you though, the fear of missing out if price really starts to rocket past your take profit and you're like, I mean, do you find yourself trying to participate again, get back in and take another trade, or what happens there?
Dude, it happened to me today. Happened to me this morning. It's all in the game, bro. It sucks. It takes a while to get used to it, but most of the time, I'd say like a good 7, maybe 8 out of 10 times, wherever I'm getting in, that is not the perfect entry. You know what I mean? I could anticipate that wherever I think is the perfect entry, bring that entry, 2.5, 5 points lower, and you'll probably get a better entry and still get in. So you do miss trades, but I think it outweighs the amount of trades that I used to take where I'm like following momentum and just like getting induced into it. I think when I have to hit the market order, it's like a compulsion. You just want to press the button.
That's right.
The limit order really helps me because I can kind of satisfy that compulsion. Like I'll set the limit order. A lot of times I'm sitting there, I'm watching price. I have my limit order on there for 2 minutes and I go, this is a terrible trade. Why do I want to be in
Gives
this?
you a chance to get out.
Gives me a chance. Yes. I get like I get to second guess myself and it's great. So yeah.
Would you say you second guess yourself mostly in the positive, or you second guess yourself to where you gotten out of a trade that should have been great?
For me, it's usually in the positive route. I've
That's good.
never been one of those guys that's like scared to get into the market.
Oh,
Like a
yeah.
lot of people have that. They're like super particular and they're scared to hit that button. My issue was always the opposite. It was like, I'm too aggressive. I want to be in that market right now, which is why the limit orders helped me because they kind of just forced patience on me.
Yep. I relate to that attitude. I want to be in. I don't want to be out.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, especially if there's a trend starting to form. Well, this is great, man. I appreciate you giving us a lot more of the background here and untangling some of the concepts around ICT. Anything else you think retail traders should know about you, or lessons you'd like to impart?
Honestly, man, not much. Just if you guys, if you like my story, if you've been following me, just make sure you can always check me out on X. My Twitter handle is IamZarb. And my YouTube channel, which I've been steadily growing. We're at like 1.3K subs.
Nice.
So we're just getting there. We broke 1K and it's been great. Like I get a lot of positive feedback on the videos. And so check that out too. I believe it's also IamZarb is my YouTube.
Yep. We will get your links in the show notes as well. So in the description here of this video, you guys are welcome to find Zach's handles. And we can also get a link out to, should we get a link to ASFX TV as well for your streams?
Yeah, I was just going to say that as well. ASFX TV, I'm on there Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays at
Awesome.
11 a.m. And it's not just me. You got Austin Silver, you got Evan Dyer, James Bruce, ton of just great traders, man. They've motivated me so much, and they really are like a family. I feel like I have a squad, and that's what ASFX TV gives people. So yeah, it's great. There's actually like a promo right now, too. You can get your first month free with code FIRST. So might as well check it out if you're into it.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, man. I appreciate the time and the insights. We hope to catch you on another one here in the future.
I would love to, man. Yeah, anytime. Just let me know.